Welcome to West Farthing Woodworks. Today we're going to go over some of the different wood choices that you have for making wooden rings and some of the different thicknesses and sizes and things like that that you can purchase in order to make wooden ring making a little bit easier. Wooden rings have become really popular over the last several years, and there's a lot of different companies out there making them, but it's a very easy thing to make it yourself. So we're going to bring you over to the bench and we'll show you some of the different wood choices that are available for you. Here we have several examples of different species of wood. Just about any species of wood that you decide to use is usable for a ring. It really doesn't matter. Even the softest of woods can make a ring. It's a good idea to put a little bit of lamination of different harder species around those softer types of wood if that's what you like, just because a softer piece is a little bit more breakable. But just about any piece of hardwood, purple heart, zebra wood, bubinga, wenge, a little bit of curly maple, which is a little softer for a hardwood, but it's still a pretty dense species of wood. Any of these things make a great ring. Veneers are really nice to be able to put in between different laminations of wood. And a lot of times you're going to wind up cutting out small pieces like this, clamping it to a workbench, and then drilling out your ring sizes for it. You can usually get a couple out of a piece like this, which is nice because you can clamp down one end of it, drill the other end, and then clamp down the other end and drill the other side, which keeps your hands out of the way. It prevents you from having to hold the blank while you're drilling it, which can get dangerous. But these are some of the different ones. They're thinned down to anywhere between a 3/16 and an 1/8. Sometimes they're a little bit thicker, like this piece of rosewood here. Really, any thickness of wood that you put together to make a ring, that's going to kind of determine the final thickness of the ring. So if you're going to use 3 or 4 pieces, you want to try to get pieces that are thin enough that when you put them together, the ring isn't so gigantic that it's not comfortable to wear. Usually an 1/8 of an inch for most laminations is pretty good, and you can go up to 3 or 4 pieces, sometimes 5 pieces, or with some veneer, add a few more. And it's still not going to be too much of a pain to wear. It'll be a nice looking ring. Essentially what you do is you kind of find the species that you want, you cut them out. Like even say in this case, this is purple heart and wenge. I could do a piece of purple heart with a piece of wenge and then another piece of purple heart on it, and just kind of line those up and see what they look like. And I think that's kind of a nice contrast. That would be a nice looking ring blank. And at that point we'd glue it together, drill a hole through it, and then shape the ring afterward, that's shown in later videos. But you can also take pieces of veneer. And say I wanted to put a piece of birch veneer around the piece of wenge, I could do that as well, and that also creates a different look. So these different pieces will be discussed later on in the videos when we show how to glue them up and how to glue them together for strength, so that way these blanks last a little bit longer and make stronger rings. But other choices include buckeye burl, which this is just a block for a bottle stopper blank, and that can be hacked off into different sections and glued in. Buckeye burl looks great when it's finished. It doesn't look like a whole ton right now, but it really looks sharp when it's finished. Briar is another good choice. This is used in pipe making, and you do a process called a contrast stain on here, which again will be shown in future videos. My wedding ring shows a contrast stain where the briar itself is stained so that way it brings out the grain, and then it's stained with another color just to kind of even out the coloring. But it's a really interesting process, and again with briar it really makes a nice looking ring. Cocobolo is another choice. Really just about anything that you want to turn into a ring you can. And you have 2 choices. Buy it from the wood place already thinned, and a lot of places that sell hardwood sell little thin strips like this or little thin plates. Or you have methods at home. If you have a table saw or a thickness planer, you can do those yourself as well. But that wraps it up for wood choices. Again, just about anything that's about an 1/8 of an inch thick, around 3/16 of an inch thick, somewhere around there would be perfect for laminating together and making rings. And really the choices are limitless as far as wood goes. You just have to either shape it or buy it in the appropriate thickness. Next couple videos coming up, we'll show how to glue these together. We'll show how to turn them on a lathe. We'll also show how to do it without a lathe. So keep on looking for that. Again, this is West Farthing Woodworks, and we have books available on Amazon.